bum 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 bum
Drama.
bum.
Action. Comedy. Palace intrigue. Story Squad presents Clash of the Pencils. Wow, good evening here, folks. Great Fall 53 night to you here from Milford, Delaware. We have a great slate of story matchups coming to you tonight. Welcome back to the Clash of the Pencils nightly live stream, the most watched creative writing esport league live stream in the history of the internet. I am your host, Tom Sherman, and we're here as we are every weeknight to review the top 3 short story submissions from around the net, get the latest scores, see who's atop the leaderboard, and of course, review the top 5 sentences of the night. Quick reminder to all you folks out there how to play. So every night at the end of the live stream, we will reveal tomorrow's prompt. And then all you have to do is handwrite a quick 1-page story in response. Get your phone, snap a picture of it, upload it to Storybot 3000, and then boom, you're in the game. Every day we field anywhere between 0s and 10s of submissions, which then get run through a high-tech computer algorithm known as Storybot 3000, which uses, among other things, inside-out umbrellas to analyze every story. We then take Storybot's top 3 picks and let you, the public, vote on them to determine tonight's winner. Alongside me, we've got Greg, the Reader Peterson. What are you reading there, Mr. Reader Peterson?
In his way, the chief of police was father and benefactor to the town. Among its citizens, he was like paterfamilias, and he visits to the shop stalls and market halls were like trips to his own pantry. Just catching up on some old Russian 19th century. And look what I found for today.
Wow. Cat stickers.
Yeah.
And
we're going to give out a lot of cat stickers.
I could imagine you have some cat stickers marking some of your favorite passages from great novels such as that one.
Absolutely. I mean, I've really embraced the prompt today. You know, I'd like to say Storybot. Yeah, there is a coming robot apocalypse, but there's also, it's not 0% chance that cats are the ones that ultimately win.
Certainly could be a cat apocalypse. Don't want to see an AI system designed by cats. Certainly not. I don't think the first rule would be cannot harm humans. I think it would be beyond that. Anyways, let's get into this, shan't we? So, quick look at the leaderboard from the other night, or from yesterday. Slice taking the lead at 165 points, followed by a newcomer to the stage, Slam, coming in second with 140, and of course Rockin' Toos coming in third last night, 115. Meanwhile, Repeat, K-Stu, and Champion all outside on the looking in from the winner's circle last night. And also, it looks like none of those submitted stories tonight. So, going to be tough to make up that ground between these three folks here. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. And before we get underway and go over tonight's prompt and start getting in on everything, let's remind the folks out there what everyone's playing for tonight, besides, of course, fame and glory. And that's one of these, an exclusive IOU NFT. This unique 1 out of 10,000 NFT is actually an IOU for a future NFT from an upcoming drop from Story Squad. And although the current estimated cash value of the IOU NFT is $100 US, that's not quite the full value of NFTs. Think of NFTs like keys to the future. Right now, as humans, we interact with businesses and organizations much like ants might their queen, slaving away day in and day out for resources to give to the queen so that she may survive. NFTs turn this one-directional relationship into a community partnership. Owning NFTs of organizations will allow those owners special perks like early access to future products, exclusive content behind paywalls, and access to the inner community. Not only that, but NFTs are transferable, allowing owners to sell at a premium, which in turn appreciate all other NFTs held by community members. So NFTs are part art, part online identity, part admission to a virtual country club, part crypto speculation, part generational wealth, and all real, baby.
Woo!
I mean, you know, honestly, it didn't really need a minute for me to just tell you, you want one of these NFTs. You know what I mean? I could have saved everybody a lot of time. Just said that.
$100 is conservative, Tom. These could be infinite. The upside here, there is no upper bound.
Currently, there is no upper bounds, as they have not yet
It's
gone on
tulip
the market
mania.
to have
It's
a price
tulip
floor
mania.
or ceiling. Yes,
Get these
yes.
tulips.
Exactly. Great obscure reference to the tulip craze.
It's not a bubble.
Dutch.
It's cyclical. That tulip thing is coming. That tulip price is coming back.
Yeah. That's. Do you think most of our viewers know about the tulip craze that the Dutch had back in the 1400s? Am I frozen, or is Reederson frozen? I'm frozen. No, he's frozen. All right, Lady Jane from backstage telling me that Greg got so crazed about the NFTs that he froze.
Got too excited there talking about.
Yeah, wow. Wow. So let's just dial it all back. Let's take a deep breath. We're going to forget about the NFTs for now, because we're just going to get into what the prompt is for the day. We can't. Too much excitement.
More dazzle, less frazzle. That's what we're going for.
That's right. That's right. Today's writing prompt: cats have overtaken the world. What do they do with the humans? Write a story that explores this new perspective.
I think that's why I'm so excited, Tom. That pun is exquisite.
That got you revved up at the end of the last show as well. Yeah. So where would you go with this? Where do you think the cats are? What do you think cats are going to do?
Well, I would start putting these stickers on the page and just putting them into conversation, seeing who can amass power. I think this is a will to cat power.
Interesting. Well, we'll just see how it goes. And let's see. We've got 3 on the board. This one, you requested it, so that's what we're going to start with. Randall Cobb may or may not be Randall Cobb. Hearing your plea for a story involving Mr. Whiskers, our friend from Green 18, the mind of Green 18. The world has gone to the dogs, hissed the newly elected leader. Look at what we're left with: poverty, pandemics, and persistent political catastrophes. I've had to claw my way to the top of the pile, but now that I've arrived, the possibilities are endless. The course of history is about to be changed forever. It's a dog-eat-dog world with complex problems. We need leaders who are literate in a wide array of issues. Well, my fur ends. Today is the day we take back our world from the cat-atonic leaders of the past. Today we put an end to the doom and gloom and change the tale forever. The feral former bosses are gone, replaced with formidable rulers ready to wrestle with the most appalling problems. I promise to strive for perfection and always have a positive cat-titude. Mr. Whiskers yawned a big yawn and flopped over onto his back while slowly stretching each leg skyward. He stood up, gave a little shake, and sauntered into the kitchen, purring loudly for his dinner after his long afternoon nap. All right, so a rousing speech from a newly elected leader laden with cat puns and ominous foreshadowing turns out to be the afternoon nap dreams of Mr. Whiskers, the beloved evil genius cat who, let's see, what is that? Who awakes to sweetly demand dinner.
It does the incongruity of the sort of the delusions of power and then the wanting dinner. I think this is written, but Green 18 must be a cat owner because this is very typical cat behavior. The puns, it was so dense with puns. The wordplay was great. Persistent catastrophe, possibilities, history, forever, litter at catatonic, appalling. At some point, though, I feel like the plot that speech wanted more setting or plot. I wanted to know backstory. I wanted to know if this was the continuation of previous Mr. Whiskers episodes because there had been quite a bit of plot in those, and there had been quite a bit of struggle, and this one didn't really have much action. It seemed like kind of a it calls into question, did any of the other things happen as well, or were these also dreamlike fantasies of like omnipotent control? But was there a Weatherbot 3000? Did Mr. Whiskers kill off the dinosaurs?
Right. Now what we think was an evil genius cat might have just been a normal cat this whole time.
Maybe that's all cats.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a cat archetype.
Interesting. Well, and that's what I thought was good, or I take that plot twist, and you know what I mean. That's why I kind of thought there was a bit of plot here, where the redirect from where we were and then where we end up at the end of it is I enjoy that. I appreciate that as a as a tactic to drive plot. That otherwise, you're right. It was kind of lacking that strong, conflict and chase type deal that we've seen before.
I would have liked an antagonist. I would have liked a little more setting too. I feel like the puns got us there, but I would have liked more of the room or more of I don't know if this Mr. Whiskers was an auditorium like celebrating a coronation or of a victory.
Right.
Who are the constituents? What are they doing? What's the platform? What are they running on?
Well, and that was another thing is it was a dark speech, and yet it was also like positive. You know what I mean? It was like yes, like I now control everything, but like I'm gonna take care of poverty. And so it was like, is Mr. Whiskers really gonna take care of poverty, or is just kind of paying lip service? I couldn't square that circle.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, quite.
I want to see what some other cat perspectives are here. I wonder how many puns. If this is going to be the most dense pun.
The pun per sentence ratio here was very high, so it will be a tough show to see if someone else can pull that off. Let's see if Racontus has what it takes to really cram those puns in there. Jim crept through the breezeway. He was light on his feet, nimble. His boots barely scraped the cobblestone path. Jim supposed he had learned a thing or two in the academy. When they took over, after the 9 Lives War, boys like Jim were sent to an academy to learn how to be of service in the new paradigm. Jim was his before name. He was reclaiming it. At the academy, they called him Whiskers, because he was curious like a cat, they said, and they always laughed. Some joke he didn't understand. The skirmishes during the takeover were fierce. We lost. We didn't want it enough, some said. They were determined, hungrier. Well, who was hungry now? Jim thought, as he reached the door of the tumble-down house. Faint whispers inside ceased sharply before he turned the doorknob. He smiled. We all learned a thing or two, he thought, admiring the heightened senses of his compatriots. Inside, he was welcomed by academy chums and ferals. Ferals were the ones who were not sent to an academy after the war, but learned how to survive just the same. United, they were stronger. Some of them remembered that old movie about the apes. Most of them lived through the 9 Lives War, the world's youngest veterans. Others were born after, but all were vaguely aware that division was what gave the usurpers a foothold in the invasion. The plan was set. Whiskers and Mittens, Tony, waited at the back door of the main academy building in cat suits. When the guards came out with a saucer of milk, boom, they were in. The rest of the ragtag band, armed with flashbang balls of yarn and feathers on strings, spread out through the compound. Calico Jack, Wednesday, Rob, Doom, Corinne, Halo, Eileen, Trash Can Larry, Smashface, Amy, Polydax, Polly, and Princess, Annie, Academy grads and ferals stalking the halls side by side, hungry. More followed, emerging from the shadows to join the rebels' ranks. Building to building they went, herding their cat overlords into cages. A small victory today, and the start of the rocking chair revolution. All right, so a cat-trained human slinks through the night to meet up with other academics and stray humans plotting to unite against their cat overlords. After the plan is set, the crew roams the hallways of the academy, herding and caging cats, the first act of a revolution.
This was some wild world building.
Mhm.
The 9 Lives War seems like we're in the aftermath of this, and this is sort of the seeds of the Rebel Alliance, where humans, after being made up into chums and ferals, which I loved, band together in this sort of ragtag, I don't know, Ocean's 11 crew, with these dual names, and come back to take the power back, going building to building.
Mhm.
This begged itself for a movie.
Yeah.
I loved how expansive the world was. I loved how the characters, we got a lot of, there was like Calico Jack, Trash Can Larry, this was very funny. We got Jim, who's now known as Whiskers, sort of this renaming and then trying to undo those names or keep the old names alive, as a way of banding together, to try to overthrow this. There was a pun on herding cats, right? And the
Mhm.
fact that the humans could kind of squat up, and it was very hard for the cats then to resist that because cats are so independent. I thought was very shrewd as a
Mhm.
way, like that was the linchpin to the attack. That was
Right.
that was a strategic gambit that ultimately allowed the humans to like regain power. So
Mhm.
very, very interesting. Huge world, huge plot. I would give this massive points for a very big plot and a lot of characters in a one-page story. It's kind of beguiling how many complex elements there were.
Yeah, no, great, strong all across. And what really you can see that with is that sentence about the feral cats, right? Because that's one of those great moments where you get the plot, the setting, and characters all worked into one. Where you've got the feral cats are these humans that have learned, or the feral humans have learned to stay alive, not academy trained. So you get this characters, you get the setting, you get that plot of them then all uniting. Another class struggle conflict, as you've pointed out before, Racontus's wheelhouse here. Um, I like that part about they called him Whiskers because he was curious like a cat, and yet and they would all laugh about that, but he didn't get the joke. And so there's something about curiosity killed the cat, and now Whiskers is coming in and overthrowing the cats because he was curious like a cat and he didn't get the joke. There's something going on.
It was a
Normally I'd call
very
it a rabbit hole, but that's a cat
it,
hole.
it was a very delicate hand too. The they there was always ambiguous. It was
Hmm.
never saying like the cat overlords or any of these kind of like cartoon things. It was always just sort of assumed that there was a cat power, but it was never directly addressed or head on.
Hmm.
It was always in secret, which I think allowed the world building to like that. So much happened here. You couldn't spend a lot of energy describing the cat takeover in the first place. You just kind of get allusions to it, like the 9 Lives War, and then some of the puns, and then some of the dialogue. It was a great way to force the reader to infer what the power structure
Hmm.
was.
And another thing here that I thought was great was there was really a theme that I read into it of can you tear down the master's house with the master's tools, right? Because like you've got these now, like Jim is walking around very nimble and cat like, and he says all of his chums have heightened senses when they hear the doorknob, and so maybe we did learn something. And now who's hungry? Now who's hungrier? And so it's like there's been this, even if this revolution works, the cats have still imposed this cat-like behavior on humans for it seems like possibly perpetuity. So really, who's won what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they can remember the names, though, makes like their old names, Jim.
Right.
It's like they can be both and at the same time. So they can
Mhm.
have that heightened sense of cat-like power, but also try to realize that they're still distinct and they can still band together with the memory of that before it goes out completely.
And then there's something about rocking chairs that I haven't quite put together with Raccoontoos.
I don't know the
But
rocking chair. I didn't.
there's some symbolism there. I'm interested to see how that continues to show up
Mhm,
throughout their
mhm.
work. But we got to keep this moving. I feel like I could get into that one-page story for a lot
There's a lot
longer,
there.
which
That's
is
a credit to a
unbelievable.
big world.
But we've got one more, and that is from Slam. Put it in the hoop like Slam.
Slam. 2 for 2, Slam.
2 for 2.
We see you. We see you.
On the week. Let's see what's happening here. Historians, formerly known as cat historians, called it a slow-moving coop-like, a gleaming yellow mountain of amber slowly enveloping the human species, framing them in stasis for all eternity. Cat scientists tap their perfectly manicured nails on the fossilized humanity and wonder what could have been had cats not seized control of the world. It's a funny little question, a hypothetical that everyone already knows the answer to, but can't fully prove, at least not without ceding power. Not happening. Humans are either shocked or apathetic to hear that cats have run the world since the very beginning of recorded human history. Catkind certainly had its early fiefdoms. Ancient Egypt was a particular stronghold. An entire people worshipped cats and built monuments to the species. From there, our power spread like a virus. Well, technically, a parasite called toxoplasmosis. The rewiring of human minds across the globe took centuries, but towards just ends. The adoption of humankind is the greatest technological advancement in cat history. Our prehistoric brethren spent 100% of their time hunting and gathering, evading hawks, and eventually being eviscerated by something with mirrored eyes and sharp teeth. In 2021, our humans do the heavy lifting. They hunt our food, they groom our bodies, they protect us and build comfortable fortresses around us. They train as doctors with the sole purpose of extending our 9 lives to 12 or even 15. And of course, they work tirelessly to build rocket ships that are capable of taking us back home to Mars. All right, a narrator recounts a classic hypothetical question cat scientists and cat historians muse over: if what would happen if cats never took over the world, before revealing their takeover via toxoplasmosis has been in the works since the times of ancient Egypt and successfully have adopted humans as technology before 2021. And now humans are working for cats as hunters, doctors, and transportation technicians.
Yeah, I loved how this sort of, I don't know, subverted it presented a very recognizable world that where we're in it, but then there's this secret cat Illuminati that's been kind of conspiratorially running the show
Mm-hmm.
the whole time. This was audacious in its vision and its deep history. The coordination of rewiring the human minds across the globe throughout time and these cat scientists, it was a little disembodied to me. I think there was a really cool plot here and a really cool setting, but I didn't get quite a sense of a character. It was almost like an omniscient narrator who was coming in to tell us like a history book.
You know what I thought in my notes here, I kind of thought the setting was a little bit lacking, but it was filled in by the character because I took it as like it sounded like a podcast. You know what I mean? Like a Science Friday on NPR or something. You know what I mean? Like 10 radio hour of being like, let's like let's muse about what would happen if cats. I mean, obviously cats have taken over the world, and you know what I mean. But like, so that's where I got the character in the setting from. Was almost like this is like a script of a podcast that I'd listen to on a drive down somewhere.
If it was, I feel like it could have been taken even further. Then we could have had a commercial, or we could have had a live read, or some sort of indication of the format, so it's even more recognizable and placeable. It's interesting though that the cats came from Mars originally, and that they want to go back there, and that they've been in power all along. It begs some more questions. But it was a very, very ambitious sort of thread to tease apart all of humanity. I would have liked more, like a detail or two more about through the ages. I feel like could have been sprinkled in here about how they're behind certain historical events.
Definitely more questions than answers. But that's what's going to keep me reading that next page.
Yeah.
So,
if only they had another page, Tom.
So close. Yet so far. Maybe a legal pad would do, but maybe not. That's the thing. All right. Well, this is my favorite part of the show, where I get to say that was all pointless. We just wasted 30 minutes, 25 minutes of your life listening to that so that we could get to this. And that's the big reveal. So let's go in here and hit refresh. See who actually won, because it's not your and my opinion that matters, Greg. Unfortunately, it's America's. Well, fortunately, it's also Storybot 3000's. And look at this for the day. Green 18.
Wow.
Coming in on top with 165 points. Slam in second place Slam with 140. And then Rockin' Toos coming in third again. I would have almost flipped those. I don't know. But again, not my vote, not my problem.
Yeah, apparently the Mr. Whiskers fans were out in droves. Droves today.
It's a classic. Slice, look at this. Slice not really losing much ground with 113 points on the day. Joanna Man, Repeat, K-Stew, all clocking in some points. So let's see how that's going to affect the weekly leaderboard. In Slam, wow, with a slim 2-point margin here over Slice. Racontus, meanwhile, in third with 230. Green 18, 165. Not quite out of it yet. Still a lot of stories to write. But Repeat, K-Stew, Joanna Man champion, definitely have some ground to make up if they want to crack that top 5.
Still anybody's game early in the week. What's up tomorrow? Are we?
Let me tell you what's happening.
Cat week? Is it cat week?
Hey, it could be. I'm not going to stop you. Tomorrow's prompt: the school bus driver took a wrong turn and ended up in the middle of a tropical rainforest.
Wow!
Don't you hate it when that happens?
I hate when that happens. I'm just way home from school.
Every time. Every time. Oh, you think it's on the way home? That's even worse. On the way there, at least, hey, you missed school. But on the way home.
Yeah. End up in the middle of a rainforest. Strong setting.
Strong setting. Possibly some plot, why and how that wrong turn happened. And then, of course, there's going to be a school bus driver. So that's at least one character. I don't know. Interested to see where the authors take that tomorrow. Where would you go with this?
Well, I'd go into the rainforest like it tells me to.
Fair. Right you are, Readerson. And that's why they call him Greg Reader.
Yeah, it's all I'm doing is just close reading.
Can't fool you. All right. Top 5 sentences of the day, and maybe we'll be able to end this podcast stream under 30 minutes, but highly doubt it.
I doubt it.
Number 5 from Green 18. I promise to always strive for perfection and always have positive catitude. A line from Mr. Whiskers, how he's going to end his political speech. Yeah, promise that I don't know if he's going to keep.
The density of that was hard to get up to. I also questioned Mr. Whiskers is a pretty evil guy before, and now he seems like he's turning over a new leaf, but I'm skeptical. Yeah.
Very skeptical, but look at all those puns. You got to love it. Number 4 from Slam, From there, our power spread like a virus. Well, technically, a parasite called toxoplasmosis. Yeah. So, Storybot 3000, like that specificity. What's that?
We need the research. Today's Tuesday, so we need the research.
We should have gotten Lady J on the
What
research
is
here.
toxoplasmosis? I'd love to pinch
Yeah.
and zoom or double click on that.
That's
context.
it's actually it causes mind control in rodents. It's a parasite that once rodents have it, they become unafraid of cats, and then cats just kill them and eat them.
Wow. And
yeah.
that's what happens to the humans? This kind of changes.
Yeah, and it gets in the humans' brains too, and I don't know, makes us docile towards cats.
I've got a report. I got a report from the field. The research team is in real time. It's a disease that results in infection from the Toxoplasma gondii parasite, one of the world's most common parasites. Infection usually occurs by eating undercooked, contaminated meat, exposure from infected cat feces, or mother-to-child transmission during pregnancy.
Classic cat.
Wash
cat
your
feces.
hands.
Yeah, wash those hands, folks, and don't fall under cat control. Number 3 from Slice: dogs are supposed best friends turned coat. They favored whoever or whatever was in charge, I guess. Sounds like the dogs got some toxoplasmosis too.
Yeah, I like that. I guess too. That asks some questions.
Yeah, you know,
where's this narrator aligned?
You be wary about those dogs. Number 2 from Racontus: at the a cat to me, they called him Whiskers because he was curious like a cat. They said, and they always laughed. Some joke he didn't understand. Seems like that joke might have been what set Whiskers off originally to go back to being called Jim.
Jim did not appreciate being the butt of the joke there.
Not by a long shot. Number 1 from our old friend Joanna Man: despite the rapid onset of all things electronic, NFTs, cryptocurrency, the blockchain, and L. Pete capitalizing on this new frontier of opportunity, she insisted on the physical, in-person transactions.
You can only imagine what was going on in this.
That's... You know,
it was very 2021.
It sure does. And Storybot enjoyed it nonetheless. So, all right, only 3 minutes over. That's all. That's our show for tonight. Let's see. We went over tomorrow's prompt, right? We did the top 5.
We checked all the boxes. All the boxes.
Congratulations to Green18 pulling in that NFT. Hopefully, Racontus and Slam can figure out how to get a couple more votes under their wings, and get one of those for themselves. So, anyways, join us here tomorrow, same time, same place, for a new slate of stories. And until then, we'll see you folks out on the paper. If you want to play Clash of the Pencils and win some NFTs, don't worry, it's easy. All you got to do: grab a notebook, grab a pen, go to clash.storysquad.app in your internet browser, check out today's writing prompt, and then write a story. All right, once you're done with that, all you got to do, take your phone, snap a picture, and then upload. It's just that simple to play and win in Clash of the Pencils.